I do want to say that this day comes for us as African Americans with a degree of something different because while we celebrate July the 4th, there are different 4ths of July in America. And each takes on the character of the struggle we were involved in at that time. July 4th, 1776 is not a day I can very well celebrate. It was the 157th year of legal slavery. It was a day when the U.S. was free from Britain, but 157 years into the single largest industry, which was the slave trade. It was the richest industry in America. It was the backbone of America's economy, its trade, the commodities exchange. We were the commodity that was exchanged. We were the core of the shipping business and the banking business. And so while the U.S. was freed from colonialism, it was not freed from being addicted to selling people. It took us almost another century to break the addiction legally. And so July 4th, 1776 has to be put in some context. But then there was July 4th, 1852, when Frederick Douglass was asked to give a speech about democracy. He said democracy is hypocrisy because while we've been freed from Britain, I'm a fugitive from slavery. And if I were to get caught, I could be taken back into slavery today. And he protested. And just 5 years later, there was Dred Scott, who was arrested and taken back into slavery, which nationalized that horrible system. But then we celebrate July 4th, 1865, because the 13th Amendment had been passed. And then we think often of the Statue of Liberty as welcoming Europeans to America from various levels of tragedy. But that Statue of Liberty was a gift from the abolitionists in France, congratulating America for ending slavery and for saving the Union, and for France and Britain not joining the war for secession. So even the idea of give me your tide, your huddle of ashes, for yearning to breathe free is rooted deeply in that system. So July 4th, 1865 was a different kind of celebration. And there's July the 4th, 2009, with President Barack Obama being occupant of the White House. So one sees American growth. One sees democracy as a growing, living organism. There's something magnificent about watching America's growth. And the stages that we have come through as a nation are challenges for you, because in the process of growing, we learn some lessons that might have some value for you, because it was never to be a whites on the nation, and because the role of slavery and the role of the Native Americans, it was always multicultural but so divided. So we as Americans learned to survive apart, kind of in ethnic enclaves. But now we have a more difficult lesson to learn than surviving apart. That's learning to live together. And so what was once Sweden and many European countries is essentially one ethnic, white ethnic groups, with today's multicultural growth and today's movement of peoples around the world, immigration policies. One byproduct of war is people are killed, people are injured, nations are broken, but people also immigrate. And those immigrants who come, whether they come from Iraq or from Pakistan, Afghanistan, or Somalia, or the Congo, those peoples are not going back. And so the Sweden that once was will not be anymore. There'll be a new Sweden. There'll be a new Sweden. It will look different, but it's not a zero-sum game. It's the challenge now of learning what America had to learn, learning how to live together and extract the best out of that diversity, because we have found what makes America great perhaps is the fact that it is made up of peoples who come from different strains of suffering. It was the genius that came from Swedish Americans who came from here, leaving in some devastation, or coming from Ireland, or coming from Britain, or coming from Africa, coming from Asia. We found that people coming in is not a zero-sum game. I'm sensitive to the fact that as some jobs are going down and people are coming in. That creates a kind of tension. But the best of us must take this moment to learn to live together and even move beyond the word foreign. I see many of you today with your tweets and the like talking to people around the world. Well, that means that world is not separated by mountains anymore or by oceans. We left Chicago and got here in about 7.5 hours. If I were to leave New York on the plane, going to Stockholm, and one going to LA, we get there about the same time. In other words, science has dwarfed speed and distance, and you can listen to me now on your gadget talking in real time around the world. In that world, there are no more foreigners. Many languages, but one message. There are no more foreigners. There's no more foreign policy. So we cannot have a policy that does not have universal human rights application. International law and human rights and self-determination and economic justice and transparency are the rules of this world we live in today. So as I talk to a number of Swedes who've come here from different parts of the world, accept that challenge, accept that opportunity. Today, America celebrates the fact that Barack Obama is our president. That was for America a big moment of redemption. Now, there are those in America who reject mightily that redemption, who reject that current of hope. There's this battle between hope and fear, and hope must not turn the rope loose. Hope must outduel fear, and hope must outduel hysteria in that struggle. And even in this country, given your reputation as a haven for hope and a haven for peace, don't let cynicism win the war. Don't let fear win the war. This world is our world, and there's enough of everything for all of us. There's enough air for all of us, enough water for all of us, enough agrariable land for all of us, enough educational access for all of us. Fewer and fewer hoarding more and more is not the way of the future. And so learning to live together as brothers and sisters and not dying apart as fools is our possibility. It is our mission. So as we celebrate America's 4th of July, in many ways, I want to celebrate the world's independence. Independence not just from colonialism, independence from fear, independence from hatred, independence from ignorance, independence from solvable diseases, independence from war. Today there are too many wars and too much violence and too much hoarding of capital. So let us make the decision, even today, as I walk these streets and watch the sense of joy in these streets, the sense of camaraderie. Let this be a signal for the world. Somebody said, why can a little place like Sweden be the haven of so much peace? Well, if it were totally dark here, totally dark, and someone lit one candle, it would challenge the whole world. And maybe Sweden is that light on the darkness. Don't let anyone dim that light. I want to thank Olof Palme here, Dr. King in America, for those martyrs. Their blood became the fuel for the lights that will not go away. And so through it all, I want to thank you for allowing me to share with you today, and happy global celebration. Keep hope alive. Thank you very much.